error message from stream. Let's wait and find out. Oh, no, this looks promising. It says live. I'm seeing adverts, and adverts means we're live. This is excellent news. I'm going to flick over to here to see Credicore. Who is playing Credicore? That is you. Fantastic.
That is me.
Right. So I can follow what you're doing via the little bar at the bottom.
Yeah, you can.
It's not cheating. I'm just investigating. I'm investigating. Hello, everybody. By the way, if you've tuned in live on the front page of Twitch, then welcome. This is the Asmodee Digital Twitch streaming channel, and we are celebrating an exciting day today, which is the live release, official Steam launch of Terraforming Mars. And to celebrate that, I am joined by two other people involved actually making the game. So as your cameras will pop up when you shout, if I can get Ashley to scream. Hey, she's already on the feed. This is perfect. And can I get Sophie to do likewise? Yes, that's
Hello.
Sophie as well. So we've got two guests down below. If you introduce yourselves and just tell the guys what you did on the game, what your roles are, and all that business. If you go first, Sophie, seeing as you're here already below me.
Me? Okay. I'm Sophie. I was a game designer on the project. I just finished my turn. I have to beat everyone.
Wow.
And she probably will.
She's not messing around at all. I'm very impressed. Okay. What about you, Ashley?
Hi, I'm Ashley, and I was a programmer.
Okay, fantastic. Right. Okay, well, if you guys in the stream who are watching, if you flag up if there are any notices, if it looks too... Tell me if the stream is running smoothly, if it's not juddering, if the volume levels are okay, because obviously we can tweak those as we go along. We don't want to be a juddery nightmare mess. I can make some changes if necessary, but provided everything is working along, then absolutely welcome to everybody. It's very nice to have you here. And this is a game that's been like in the works for some time, it's fair to say?
Quite a bit, yes. I joined the project back in
January, okay.
January.
Wow, okay then.
Yeah, so did I.
So we got. Which one of you is playing now? Which one of you is the eco line?
This is me, and I'm about to steal
Wow.
some
Okay.
mega credits.
I mean, how dare you? Obviously, but
Because I need some. I'm sorry.
I guess it's going to be me.
fair enough.
Yeah, maybe. Yes.
Okay. If anyone wants to pop up in the chat room and shout and say, because I'm not sure, the stream's a bit laggy. Sounds okay. Yeah, the stream's a little bit laggy to me. I want to just make a couple little tweaks there. I get the impression it's stuttering a little bit, and we don't want that. So I'm going to make a little bit of adjustment. In the meantime, while I'm tweaking things, if you want to tell the people, what is this thing that we're playing? What is Terraforming Mars, and where did it come from? How does it work?
So Terraforming Mars is this great game from the Frixelis brothers, family, I should say, where you get to terraform Mars. So you get a bunch of cards, which are projects that allow you to perform various actions, and your goal is to increase all the temperature, the oxygen level, and the ocean level on Mars to make it livable. So pretty much we're all different corporations, and our goal is to make it livable before the other people's. Actually, we're all working together in order to terraform it. It's just we're trying to make more profits and
Gotcha. Okay.
do a better job than the other ones.
What we're going to do is going to make a couple of tweaks to the stream because it's getting very, very laggy. It doesn't look laggy at my end, but apparently people are reporting there's a bit of a lag. So we're going to make some adjustments and come right back to you folks. So don't leave the channel. We'll be back in just a moment. Bear with us. With any luck, we should be live again, and hopefully a little bit less laggy this time. We will soon find out. Let me have a look at my cards and see what I've got here. What can I play? Not a great deal, because I spent a lot of money on the Ganymede card at the beginning there, which is a bit of a shame. What I'm going to have to get you guys to do is, you're going to give me advice. You're going to be treating me as the noob that I am in this game, because I've played it before, and I played it with Sam, actually, who was a community manager a while back. You might have seen a stream on the channel, but that looks like a little bit smoother to me, guys, doesn't it? Yeah, that's looking good. Fantastic.
Sadly, we can't see your cards,
as
so
it stands,
really
I can't
tell you
actually
what to
afford
play.
anything right now on my second go, because I went in big,
That's the thing.
and now I can't do anything. And there's nothing I can do other than just play the cards that are in my hand, no?
Yeah.
You have the standard project tab
There we
on
go.
top of the screen, but you won't be able to do anything there. But these are extra actions. Usually they cost a little bit more than if you had a card that gave you that choice, but they allow you to do it how often you
Gotcha.
want in one
So I'd have the option to
generation.
just sell a
So they're
pattern
good for
power
that.
plant.
I would, I would suggest selling probably your more expensive cards or things that would benefit you and your corporation. That's
Got
probably
you.
what
So
I
I'm
would
running
do
the
to
beginner
get some
corporation
presence
at the
in.
moment. You guys are on different corporations, and the idea is we're all trying to terraform Mars at the same time in an effort to basically control as much of the planet as we possibly can. That's the general gist, right? Fantastic. All right, then I've got a response from Chibi Marcus saying it flows a lot better now. This is very good news. So thank you for sticking with us through minor technical hitches at the beginning, but it's always the way. So I could technically sell the IO mining industries, the Deimos Down, the Predators, or the Adaption Tech, or any of these guys.
Predators is the type of guard you can use only at the end of the game. It can be pretty strong, but at this point, if you need money, it could be something good. Sadly, I don't
The
remember
IO
by
mining
heart the
industries
other
cards
cards.
incredibly expensive. That's
But,
41 points we got over here. But well, I'll sell that for the timing. Just to,
yeah.
I'll certainly have a look at it anyway. Lions and tigers and bears. Oh my! So I like all the art that's pulled for the cards. That's all. So this is a conversion of a board game, as you mentioned earlier on in the stream, and it was a game that was released a few years back. Now you've been working with the guy in question in order to bring it on over to the PC in this case.
Yeah.
And the Steam version came out literally yesterday, right? Yesterday evening. Was it this morning? Was it that recent?
Was it
Damn.
yesterday or this morning? We're on different time zones.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
so
think for us it was this morning.
I've had to. You got the bear card. I've had to skip my go there because I
You're right.
basically couldn't afford to do anything. And now we have another player. We've got the credit core tab playing at the moment, which is you, Sophie, right? Awesome.
Yeah, this is me playing.
You'll have to excuse if there's a little bit of
Yeah,
echo
so-
because Sophie and Ashley are actually sitting in the same room, pretty much next to each other, right? So that's why there's a little bit of echo there.
Yeah.
Flipping backwards and forwards, but don't worry, folks are here.
Sorry.
So yeah. So I'm gonna get more meta credits because this is gonna give me more chance to do stuff in the next
Okay.
generation. That's pretty much it for me.
So then that turns over.
All right.
Yeah. So yeah, so we've been working with the Frixilus on these games, and it's been great because this game has 208 different cards, and most of them are they're all unique. Some of them are similar with different resources, but a lot of them have like really unique things, and sometimes we just have questions, and they know their game a lot and they can answer anything. They were really great and they give
That helps
very
an
good
awful lot, I
feedback.
guess, when you're directly
So,
in touch with the creators for these things. And it's
Yeah.
I mean, it was created like the
Yeah.
past few years, wasn't it? It hasn't been around for like decades or anything.
I think it was it 3 years ago? I'm
I don't
not
know.
exactly sure.
So the reason why I'm taking a while on my turns has nothing to do with the game, but my Switch
Ah,
is
okay.
right now.
Well, this is all
There
part of
was,
the fun
like,
of.
an update that popped up.
Okay.
That's what happens when you do
I can
things on
assure
launch
you
day.
this is
anyway.
not the game.
It's all part
This
of
is
the
not
the
the game.
live fun. I've just discovered that Skype doesn't let you capture video from it anymore for streams, so I was having a whale of a time in the other room there. It was exciting stuff. So yes, the game itself is currently available on Steam if you want to go and grab it. We did a preview of it got to be a couple of months back now when I was talking to was it Sam? Am I getting that right? Alex. It was Alex. Who was part of the community management role. And we were walking through the game then. But now seeing it in its finished form, it's a little bit slicker, I'm noticing. It was actually... we can go back and see the first version of the game, but there have been some like subtle tweaks to the UI. What's the biggest change, you think, in the UI between like a couple of months back and now this final launch build?
We added a log. I don't know if I'm guessing you see Ash's screen, but there's a log which actually shows you which card were played. And so you can we've actually improved a lot of like being able to follow what's going on in the game and it being more clear what other players are playing. So you can always go see it. There's a card played menu that allows you to see what other people played. I'm looking at Ashley's, and she only played red cards, which are hidden, so I can't see anything. But if I go back to my own, I've played green cards, so you can see everything I've played so far. So that allows you to have a better idea of where the other players are at and what their strategy might be.
Gotcha.
So you can actually play against them more easily.
I made a tweak to the audio there. I'm hoping that there shouldn't be any delay in my voice now or anything like that. So do let me know if there's any kind of weird sounds kicking through. I think it should be all right.
Okay, so you say you have to quit Ashley, so I'm guessing you can just
That's all
rejoin
right.
the
We've got
game
updates
normally.
for other things popping up and taking
Sorry
over
about
the streams. But as I say, it's all part of the fun of doing these things live. That's what I get excited by.
It's true.
So you can look at the nice planets we have. You can check there's Jupiter at the back with Ganymede.
Well, even
Just-
this is.
Do my turn. I'm sorry about that.
Don't worry. Even this is
I wasn't even
smooth.
gonna
When I originally started playing the game a while back, like zooming in, that little subtle tilt that you get when you move the mouse around, all that stuff was totally different. So yeah.
Well, yeah, we did tweet that
I mean, there's
actually.
slight sync issues with the video from the audio from you guys, but unfortunately, because we're running through the Skype system that we've got, which isn't Skype because it no longer lets you do it, we'll have to go with it and accept a little bit of lag. Right, now we can buy up to 4 cards. So, what I've got the options here. I've got Food Factory, Space Station, Medical Lab, and Lake Minereus. So, just to explain to people, these are all different colours. What do the colours represent in the game?
So, like Sophie mentioned before, red cards are generally the kind of more like action cards. Am I explaining
that correctly, Sophie?
Which card? Sorry, I was looking at a card.
Red cards.
Mm-hmm.
Red cards.
The red cards are immediate actions. Well, the green card and the red card actually act
Gotcha.
pretty similarly. They both give you stuff that you can do right away. And the biggest thing is that the red card, the moment you play them, they can't be seen by the opponent. So they give you kind of an edge because you get to hide which victory points you have and which resource you gain from them. While the green cards can be seen at all time.
There's a space
the blue
station I've got
cards,
up here at the moment on the screen.
I don't have a blue card to show. Oh, there's
Blue cards are basically
Yes. So on the top, you have a bluer section, and these are either actions or effects that take effect all the time during the game. So effects are things that will happen on their own if you do a certain prerequisite, and actions are things that you can activate
Gotcha.
yourself. You can play it once per
So I've got-
per generation. I'm actually gonna buy one of the.
and like sorry to cut you off. You basically you can have some that are like passive.
Oh,
effects
okay,
too,
fair
that
enough.
Kind of add like a boost for the.
If I get you,
entire
Ashley, if you want to bring your microphone a little closer to your face, I think we might get a little less echo.
Yeah.
Have a test there. That sounded good. The whisper, that was nice and intimate. Good, I like that. Okay, so for example, I've got the medical lab here, which allows me to
Awesome.
increase my production by 1 step, my cash production by 1 step for every 2 building tags that I have, including this one. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so for this, you need to check this is actually a good card, but you need to make sure you have enough building tags. So if you look on your tab on below, you have a place called tags, and you can see which
Gotcha.
tags you already have. So I have
So yeah,
no
I've got the
building
tags
tags,
down
so
the
that
bottom
card
here,
would
which
be
shows
useless for
played.
me
I've
right
got
now.
one space tag and 1 Jovian tag at the minute. But there was one I saw with a space tag. Let's have a look.
So yeah, so this card
So if I
would be
go back
useless right
here,
now.
Space Station has a space tag attached to it. So once purchased, these actions and effects go into their respective place on the player tray. You know what? I think I'm going to go with this one.
I think space
Okay.
stations give you space cards cost you less when you play it, if I remember correctly. Is it that?
Mm-hmm.
Security fleet. So yeah, so this is actually a card I like a lot because a lot of these cards are space cards, and I think I value their the strategy they give me. And
I'm gonna do that.
if you
I've
have
only
that
got
card, just
13
costs
sort
you
of
less
credits
to do
available to me.
actions.
What's the
So
official
it's great.
currency name, by the way? I'm calling them mega credits. I was saying credits. I was missing off the mega, obviously. That's
Mega
my bad.
credits.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well,
They're worth a lot more
now we're
than
officially
credits.
up and running. I want to welcome anyone who's on the front page of Twitch right there.
Or they're bigger.
Thanks for joining us today. This is the Asmodee Digital Twitch stream, and we are streaming Terraforming Mars, which is a board game conversion that's just appeared on Steam officially for the first time. It's been in soft launch for a little bit, but now it is officially out to buy. You'll be able to find the links at the bottom of the stream here if you click in. And we're playing with a couple of official people involved with the game, specifically the developers themselves. So I think we're getting messages about hearing people from both mics. They're in the same room next to one another. So if there's a little echo or a little delay, then that is the reason why. And I know that there's a...
Sorry.
It's fine. Don't worry.
Can
And I know
talk
there's a
like
little
this.
bit of lag on the audio there, but we're working within the confines of what we've got. So apologies for the slight delay. But as long as we have you here, that's the important thing. So we're now on my action. Just bump to the top here. Let's have a look at what we can do. So I've taken the first action. I've got how much mega credits? 27 mega credits left. Not too bad. So it gives me the option to, for example, we've got a Miranda Resort card here, which increases my mega credit production by 1 step for each Earth tag I have. That's not going to apply to me. I don't think I have much in the way of Earth. Industrial microbes. That sounds... Is that a good thing? Microbes can be good or bad, can't they? Mostly good here.
I think they're mostly good. You need them.
Kind of need them to terraform.
Right there in the
Mars.
title. Okay, I think
Yeah.
I'm going to play that. We go for the
New
industrial
little living
microbes. That's
things
great.
on the planet.
Now,
That'd
one
be
of the
pretty
things
cool.
to mention, the game moves in terms of like generation. So we're on the second generation at the moment. This is how you kind of divvy up the turns of play, isn't it?
Yes.
And then beneath the generation listing, you've got an
yeah.
O2 level and a degrees Celsius. And these apply to the state that the planet is currently in. What do these... Oxygen at the bottom. Okay, yeah, quite. So you got the ocean meter down there.
Yeah, there's also
and,
oxygen at the bottom.
Celsius. So what do these different gauges mean for the planet? Why do we have to keep our eyes on them?
Yes.
These are actually what allows you to terraform the planet. Once all of these are filled, the planet is livable, and these are
Okay.
the actual real temperature and oxygen level you
True,
need
true, not
to
just Mars.
live on Mars. Well, on any planet.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is what we're fighting for, pretty much. Once the oxygen level is full, it's full for everyone. So
Gotcha,
even if you do an
okay.
action that will
And
fill
the
it up,
degrees Celsius. Now that temperature, we need
won't
to
do
rise
anything.
to a point where it's kind of at a habitable level, right?
Yes.
yes.
Kind of, I don't think it's very comfortable to live at like -30 all the time. So essentially, we want to try and get the
Gotcha.
planet to be at a little temperature so that we can't die from being too cold. Essentially.
So
Yeah.
that's the sweet
8
spot,
degrees
that's what we're
Celsius is
after.
about what we have today here, so it's livable.
Fair enough.
yeah.
And so the cards that we play have an effect on the rising temperature, the rising O2, and so forth, right? Excellent. Okay, then let me click through and see what you're playing at the moment. Because you can click
And the oceans, yes.
these are... Okay.
I just played Search for Life, which is actually a card I have right here, which is it allows you to spend 1 mega credits and turn a random card, and if it's a microbe card, you get some a science tag that gives you victory points.
Okay.
So it's a card
Good
that
to
you want
know.
to play fast.
We're getting a mention
and
that some of the
hope it gives
audio
you
is
something good.
overlapping, so I'm just going to dive off and hopefully tweak for a final time the audio mix levels here. So we'll be back in a second. Bear with us. We can't do it live, unfortunately. So hang on. We'll be back. Issues that we're suffering here. We've got a bit of an audio delay issue going on where, unfortunately, both of the women beneath me are laggy when they talk. So they're not laggy in real life. They're immediate and exciting in real life. But because of the stream, it seems that their responses are coming in about like 4 or 5 seconds after mine. No idea why. It's the same streaming setup we've always had, and it's all coming through in real time at my end. So we're a little bit flummoxed as to why, but I guess we'll have to work with it and just leave nice big pauses when we're doing answers to things, I suppose, to make sure that there's a decent back and forth. So, just to make sure that, hang on, we're on the same place, we've currently got the Ecoline Corporation playing. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm about to complete my turn. I played a card that Sophie really wanted to see, so she's going to be excited.
Is it the Jacob card?
No, it's not the Jacob card. You'll see. And now I'm trying to decide what to do next. And since I'm Ecoline, I kind of want to try and get more plants because I need one less plant to create a greenery, and that's really cool. So I'm trying
Nice.
to
I'm
figure
going
out
to leave
how
nice
that.
big pauses so hopefully we don't overlap too much with one another when we're chatting. So apologies if there is a weird delay. So we're currently playing the three of us online. This is a game that has nucleus. Oh god, I don't like the way that was whispered. You'll hear a whisper
Right.
in a minute. Oh my god, what's going on here?
Nuclears.
The yellow player. The yellow player has launched the nuclear zone card. They're about to tell me. Oh my god.
It's a
I'm bit
nuclear
concerned
zone.
by this. The temperature's just gone up, and the oxygen. Oh.
But unfortunately, because I played that card, I have -2 victory points added to my total.
Good enough.
But
I
it
want to
looks
say
cool.
hello here. We've got some people
So
tuning in,
that
and Rita's
helps
there
us with it.
talking about some stuff. We've got Asmodee Digital themselves, obviously, as well. At the top of the screen, we had Chibi Marcus and Brian Touch and a bunch of other people joining us. If you are watching, then as I say, Terraforming Mars, this is what we are currently playing at the moment, and it's my turn. So, we've got a card-based game in which we are trying to make Mars a habitable planet. In order to do this, we play cards, laying them down according to the amount of Pash bucks that we have, or mega credits in this instance, per generation. I don't have many right now because I've blown a lot of them on the previous turn. But the idea is that you play cards like these in order to affect both the oxygen level, the temperature of the planet, the water level as well, and then hopefully the idea is you start creating plant life, and once you've created some plant life, you start creating cities and industrial areas and stuff like that, and you compete with the other players to be the person who terraforms Mars the best. That's the general gist of it. Unfortunately, I can't really do anything right now because I spent tons of cash already. There are some standard projects that you can do every turn, no matter what your cards are. So, example, you can increase your energy by building a power plant, or you can increase the temperature with an asteroid, which is sinister, but it works. Aquifers, greenery, all of these things that you can do every turn is kind of standard, but these cards that are dealt out are unique to each individual player. So I'm going to have to pass on my actions right now because I really can't do a great deal. What I'm really interested in here is what the girls are doing because they created the game. They're part of the developers who worked on it. So we've got them on board to be playing and basically walking us through what is going on. So I'll pause for a moment and then you can jump in and tell me what you're playing. So I'm playing as the beginner corporation for obvious reasons because I'm not professional at this game. But we've got someone playing as Credicore. To just complete.
Yeah, I just played the action on Search for Life, and sadly I did not find life.
Ah, sad.
So I had to skip my turn. I'm also out of mega credits for now, so not very exciting.
So now it's my turn. As I mentioned earlier, I am the Ecoline Corporation, so I have a bit more of an advantage on creating greeneries because I
Okay,
need
so-
one less plant to convert. So now I need to actually figure out what I want to do because I did not think about it. All right, since it seems to be in my character
I'm going to react
today,
to
I'm
what's
going to
happening on
launch
the
an
screen.
asteroid
I say
on
there
the
might be
planet.
some overlap
raise the
in the
temperature.
conversation that's happening. Apologies for the delays, but we're having a slight tech issue which can't seem to be resolved. But we can see what's going on and what the other players are doing by monitoring their turn. So some cards will be played and they're actually kind of invisible so the other players can't see them. But by and large, you can see what people are doing. So confirm to review the result here. For example, you'll be able to pull up stats. There we go.
That was a
I don't
very
like the
good turn
sound of
for
that.
you,
I don't
Ashley.
like other people having good turns
It was.
instead of me. This is an outrage.
All right.
Okay, so we're now in.
So we just completed a generation now, so we get to buy more cards.
So now that the generation's been completed, as you say, you can purchase additional cards. So now I've got the option to buy up to 4 of these cards. I've only got
Right.
24 of the mega credits. How you generate currency? What's the way that cash stocks up over each generation? Is it purely from cards that you play, or do you get a set number of mega credits deposited every generation? How does it work? Mm-hmm.
You have, if you look on the left side of your screen, every player has a number. It's their Terraform rating. You get this amount of mega credits every generation, plus the amount of production you have of mega credits, which is just above the mega credits icon on the bottom of the screen. You can increase this number either by like certain actions allow you to increase it directly. Other actions like increasing any of the global parameters will allow you to increase your Terraform rating. So yeah, so you pretty much increase it by doing good
Okay,
moves.
so I've got a 0 above my current mega credits rating, which means that basically I'm not producing any additional perks every round, but I've got 24 over here, or you've got 24 over there. And that means that's how much you get every generation. I've got 21 over by me, so when my turns refresh, I'll be able to purchase some stuff there. But I get the option to buy up to 4 cards right now, and I'm cautious of buying more stuff just to purchase the cards and then having nothing left to play with. Yeah, I think I'm gonna.
I know it's tempting.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna.
Yeah,
leave
well,
some
you
of the
need to
money in the
judge.
bank now, so I'm ready to
The
go.
less money you have, the less you can play. So
Ogre from Hell's tuned in.
Don't
Hey,
buy
good to
the
see you. And
cards that are
0x
worth it.
Maru says this looks really fun. Well, that's a good review. That's what you want to hear, isn't it? I'm just going to tweak my camera a little. There we go. Much better. So as you can see, we've got the smoking crevice of what I believe was a nuclear strike that...
Yes. I am going to be that corporation in this game where I'm going to be terrorizing
This is
the
truly
planet.
terrifying.
So why not?
I'm gonna be.
And so currently Credicore is choosing the cards, so you can see the Wii playing icon there. Now you can of course play this game in a single player mode if you want to. There is an offline version, but we're doing it online because, you know, that's the ideal way to play any of these board games if at all possible. We've been playing a bunch of different board games over the Asmodee streams over the past few weeks and months. In fact, it's something we do in collaboration with Pocket Gamer, which is the YouTube site that I work for, and the website pocketgamer.com, which is getting a whole big makeover this week. So we highly recommend you go over and click through and have a look at that, because we've got a brand new site launching and we're stoked about it. So all the articles and the Twitch streams and the archives, they all go up on there. So if you wanted to, if you're tuning in halfway through and you want to catch up on it, you'll be able to watch that video again over, and it will be linked in on pocketgamer.com. So do go and have a look at that if you get a chance. So 0x Murray, let's terraform our planet so we can live on it, and then followed by, let's use a nuclear strike. I like this game already. So we've got Ecoline playing now as well, thinking their way through. Now, I'm right in thinking that some cases you can actually see what cards other players are playing as they play them, but sometimes you won't be able to view them. Is that right?
When they play them, you will always be able to view them. Is afterwards, once they're done playing it, that you can't see them anymore.
Gotcha.
These are the red cards.
Sorry if it sounds like I'm leaving awkward pauses. It's so we don't.
So you can always
Chat
note
over
them
one another.
down and make sure you
Now we've
remember
got a
until the end of the game.
milestones, standard projects, and awards tabs in the top here. So the milestones. these are things that when you hit them, when you achieve these particular objectives, then you'll get additional bonus, or is this something that you actively play? Mm-hmm.
It's something you need to buy. So once you reach any of those
Okay.
those milestones, you can buy them, but you can only buy 3 of them in total in the game. So it's kind of a race with other players to be the first one to buy all of them. So for example, if I have 3 cities, I could buy mayors. But if Ashley gets 3 cities too, she could also buy it. So it's the first one that buys that gets it. While awards they're granted at the end of the game. So if you buy it at one point, things can change. Even if you're in the lead at that point, it might change at the end. So you need to make sure to keep up the lead.
So I'm just checking my tags
standard
down here to
projects
see
or
which are the
projects
best
you can
cards
do
to play.
anytime
1
during the
building, 2
generation.
space, 2 Jovian, and 1 microbe. Although cost-wise, I can only really afford blue cards right now, which are all generally... We've got water cards, microbes, and some space station action over here. So when you play a space card, you pay 2 less mega credits for it, so that's the bonus for the space. We've got nitrite reducing bacteria here, which is an action which means you can add 1 microbe to the card or remove 3 to increase your terraform rating by 1 step. So you'd add a microbe to this card. Okay. And we've got adaptation technology as well. So the effect of this one is your global requirements are +2 or -2 steps, which is our choice in each case. So when it's talking about global requirements being up or down a couple of steps, what are they referring to there?
Some of your cards need to reach certain requirements to be played. Usually you can see it at the top of the card or in the middle. It's actually there twice. So that means that the requirement are lower than what they would be normally. So if you need, for example, a temperature of -10 degrees, you would instead need -12. So you can play them faster.
Gotcha. Okay, then. So we've got the nitrite reducing bacteria. I think this is what I'm going to go for. I like the idea of adding some microbes. Some beautiful life-giving microbes. Making use of the nitrites in the ground to release nitrogen into the atmosphere. This feels like a positive move. So let's do that. Got some card resources here. +3. Yep, I confirm. Lovely. Okay. Now I have the chance to play a second card. I've got 13 of the mega credits left. So I could do adaptation technology. Pushing the limits of the possible. Cute. Your global requirements are +2 or +. Okay. We'll play adaptation technology, might as well. Victory points. Up to 4. That's broadly positive. Okay, no actions left to do. Let us end turn. So I guess as you guys are playing, because we can see sort of that you're playing the ... If you kind of walk us through the process of your decision making, because obviously we can't see all your cards at the other end. So what are you thinking for this turn?
So it's my turn. So right now I only have 6 mega credits, which doesn't allow me to play anything except this one card, Media Groups, that gives me the effect that after you play an event card, you gain 3 mega credits, but I don't have any event cards to play right now, so it wouldn't be worth using those 6 meta credits for this. So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in the action tab and I'm going to play the action for Search for Life. And I'm going to search for life. And am I lucky? I am not lucky. I did not find life. So yeah, and that's pretty much all I can do for now. So I'm skipping my turn.
All right, now it seems to be my turn. I'm in a similar boat where I only have 12 mega credits left. The cards that I have, I can't afford them, and I don't have enough. Oh, I could make a power plant, but that would not be beneficial for me, so I'm going to save my mega credits for the next turn. So I'm going to pass my turn.
So the turn's been passed over to me now. I have officially 1 mega credit left, which basically I can do very little with. You've got the standard projects at the top, which means the only thing I could really do is sell some patents or sell some cards that I have. That would be my only option there. You mentioned actions at the bottom of the screen there. So alongside the tags and the victory points, there's also an actions tab as well. So one of the actions I got introduced is this nitrite reducing bacteria. So I can add 1 microbe to the card or remove 3 microbes to increase your terraform rating by 1 step. So these actions, these are something that you gain from playing certain cards. Are they attached to the type of corporation that you've got? How do they work?
You got that card by playing the blue card, nitrate reducing bacteria. So this is the action you gain, which goes theirs. And now you can play it once per generation, which in this case means that every 4 generation you'll be able to gain 1 terraform rating, which is pretty good.
I also noticed that you have an effect that you got from the adaptation technology card. So that acts kind of like as a passive effect. So your global requirements are +2 or -2 steps, your choice in each case, making it easier for you to play some of the cards that have global requirements restricting the card being played.
So in this case, I think I'm going to remove 3 microbes from the card in order to increase my terraform rating. That sounds like the good play here. So I've got my terraform rating there up to 22. I'm currently drawing level with Credit Core, but I see the eco line storming ahead with 25. The minute there. Okay, I think that's all I can do, so I'm going to have to skip my second action because I am cash poor right now, so I'm passing things over to Credit Core.
And I'm going to do exactly the same thing. I'm going to pass because I am poor as well. Which is really sad to say for Credit Core because it's the corporation with the money.
So we've got chat there from Uranius. It's like more like Pseudocorp is part of what ends the game, but each player wins or loses all by himself. I think people are chatting about the rules and how it works. One thing people are saying is a time frame for Android or iOS platforms. I don't think we can in a position to talk about that at the moment, but if you do have a PC handy, the reason we're playing this now is because it went live within the last like half a day, 24 hours. It's basically just appeared on Steam, so if you do have a PC handy and you fancy getting hold of it, you can officially grab it right now for the first time. It's been in soft launch for a little while. We did play an early build of the game a while back. If you go back on the Twitch stream channel, you'll be able to see us kind of walking gradually through the rules in a single player mode. But we're going multiplayer here today just to test. Basically, I'm getting the professionals, who are the ladies joining us today, to show me how the game works and how they feel it should be played, so as not to completely mess it up. And obviously, I'm letting them beat me, of course, because that's the sensible thing to do. And also, I have not a great deal of competition skill with this game yet, which is why we're all learning.
Well, it's always hard to know at the beginning. Like at this point, it's not because Ashley has more Terraform rating that she's beating us.
Keep in mind, I have a -2
Electrified Network saying
in my
just
victory
game was
points
just released
because
today.
I
Cool. Yes,
played that
it's
nuclear
brand
card,
new.
so
So you're saying it's kind of like
I
building
may
a
or may not
city,
be winning.
except Sim City, except you're trying to colonize Mars. Kind of. Yeah. I mean, in terms of it starts as a completely blank void. That's how we started it. The planet was completely empty. And then the idea is we're all playing individual cards which have an effect on the environment. They have an effect on the planet. So, for example, here I've got a farming card that I could buy. So it increases the M. I always say M dollars. Mega credits is what I want to say. The mega credits production by 2 steps, and your plant production by 2 steps as well, and you gain 2 plants. And this will start to have an effect. Now, the only way to play this is if you have a minimum temperature of 4 degrees Celsius. So, for example, I don't think I can play this right now because we're currently in the minuses, aren't we? So we can't start farming until things are a little bit warmer. But then I've got the security fleet over here. So this is spend 1 titanium to add 1 fighter to the card. So it's an ongoing effect or action that can be used during the game. So the idea of this is we install a security fleet above the planet, keeping the peace by force. Very nice. So how does this affect the planet? What's the benefit to me having a security fleet hovering above Mars?
Yeah. The actual security fleet itself, it just makes you sound cooler. But like for the actual game, it's a pretty strong card. As long as you have some production for your titanium, this card pretty much gives you 1 point every generation. So the earlier you can play it, the better it is. But you need to have titanium production. So you get to be cool and get points.
I won't do that.
Okay. Now I don't actually
yes,
have
card.
any titanium production right now. So I think that farming one seems to be a little bit ahead of schedule. I don't know. I think I might do the Lorang Observatory because it's cheap. Actually, you know what? I think I'm done. I think I need the money. So we shifted turns. Ecoline's kicking off this generation. So Stealthy Twitch, does the game run well on low-end PCs? So you've got an i3 laptop with 4 gig of RAM. How does it handle specs-wise? Do you guys know? What have the tests shown?
Yes. Yes. It should handle fairly well. Obviously, I don't have much experience myself testing on a low-end PC device, but from what I can tell with our tests, that it should run fairly well. Now, onto my turn. I convert several plants into a greenery because it's easy for me to do. I'm gaining quite a few plants. And then the next thing I'm going to do is play this river construction card, giving me the passive effect that makes it so that whenever anyone plays a city, I gain money. And that's pretty cool. And that's pretty much the only thing I can do.
So we've got Electrified Network. Sorry if I'm overlapping here. Electrified Network chirping up saying, ooh, I think they're consulting each other with specs of laptops. That's what they're doing. So what I can say is that it's not a very big download for the game. So I think it's like less than a gigabyte in size. It's kind of pretty small. So and I'm running it like I've got I think a 1060 graphics card in this. So obviously it's running just fine. But I had it running on my other PC, which has a fairly low-end graphics card. I don't think it's too processor intensive. So obviously go and check the Steam listings and it will give you the full specs in there. But it's not particularly taxing. Now then, 23 megabucks. I'm going to say bucks now instead of credits. So I've got 2 options here. I can either launch that space station, which will give me ongoing effects if I have. Let me just check my tags for a moment. I've got 2 space tags. So, when you play a space card, you play 2 fewer mega credits for it. That's quite good. I have got 2 space tags as well. And we've got the nitropholic moss. And for this one, you need to have at least 3 ocean tiles played. So we haven't got any of those. I haven't got any of those put down yet. The water splitting part, that's my other option. Again, at least 2 ocean tiles played. So I'm gonna fire off this space station right here. Bosh. There we go. It's thrown another victory point my way, which is good. Added another tag, so I now have 3 space tags. It's promising. And I'll have to skip the second action because I don't think. Actually, let's look at the standard projects for a moment. I think I want to maybe start increasing my energy production. Let's build a power plant, shall we? Nice. No action left. End turn. So as I mentioned before, as well as playing the cards, you've got a series of standard projects, which are just things that you can do every turn no matter what cards you've got. And these involve kind of core moves, like building power plants to increase your power output, throwing an asteroid at the planet if you want to, creating water, greenery, and so on. You can already see over here, we've got some in the Arciamon city. We've already got greenery being built, which wasn't me.
So yeah, so I was greedy, and I only have 17 mega credits left, which is pretty bad for the beginning of a turn. And I'm actually considering 3 different cards right now. One of them is a plantation that allows me to place a greenery, and that raises oxygen, raises my terraforming level, terraform rating, sorry, which is always good. It costs 2 science tags, but I already have them, so I can play it. The other one is sponsors, where I can get those 3 guys to give me, oh, there's a girl, those 3 people to give me a big check and increase my production of 2 mega credits, which is good in the long run. And the other thing I could do is, in the standard project, I could play the asteroids, which would increase the temperature. And at this point, if you look at the temperature bar, next step is minus 20 degrees, and it actually increases the heat to the person who increases that. But if I do that, that's the only thing I can do in my turn. So now that I've mentioned it, everybody will want to do it. I'm looking at you, Ashley.
Okay, so this is the temperature indicator over here on the far right hand side. So if she plays that action, it'll bump the temperature right up, which puts it closer and closer to the nice habitable zone that we want. We need to be in the positives up here towards the end of the game.
So I'm gonna go and block Ashley on that.
Darn.
Oh, I just noticed I had an extra card. And I'm gonna search for life. And I actually found animals, but I'm looking for microbes, so I was unlucky.
So you saw the search for life card just get played up there a moment ago, and also the temperature boosting up on the side here. So when it comes to like the end game, the win state is determined by victory points, correct? So you got the victory points down here. Now I'm looking at eco lines at the moment. So as was mentioned before, there's a positive victory point for constructing a rover, so that's counting in their favour. However, they've got a -2 victory point from that nuclear strike that they did, which frankly is good because there's got to be some kind of karma for throwing a nuke at a planet. So I'm pleased to see that.
Yes.
it's not just victory point that allows you to win. It's actually you get points from your terraform rating added to the total victory points you get. And to this, you get the points you gain from milestones and awards, depending on what was bought and who bought them. And you get extra points for the actual things you placed on the planet. So every greenery gives you 1 extra victory point. So Ashley actually has 2 extra victory points because of the 2 greenery she has. Plus, you gain extra victory points for the planets, the cities you put. Every greenery next to a city, whether it's your greenery or someone else's greenery, will give you an extra victory point. And I think that's all of it.
What do I want to do? Alright, I'm gonna skip my second action. Because I'm slightly stuck and I don't necessarily want to pass it yet. But as you can see, I created a city because it benefits me. Whenever there's a city placed on the board, I get money. It's pretty cool. So that's
So
exactly
you can
what
see
it
the
is.
city's just popped up there, very shiny and cool underneath this little eco dome that has been generated over the top of it. Very slick, like that a lot. Unfortunately, I'm in a similar state where I have no mega credits left to spend, really. I've got 2. So that gives me the option to either sell one of the patents or do nothing. So there's that. I've also got the action down here, which I can use once per generation. I don't think I've used it this generation. Let me just check. No, I haven't, I don't think. Oh, maybe I have. I can only select the add 1 microbe to this card option rather than the terraform. So I'm going to do that. It's the only thing I can perform this turn. There we go. And we're going to skip. There we go. So the planet is over here anyway, over on the west side of the planet, starting to look a bit nicer, apart from that large like nuclear strike tile in the middle, which isn't so great, obviously. The rest of it starts to look quite nice. Got a big lake over here, got a city, got a couple of sort of nice foresty places. It's not bad.
It's a start. It needs more purple, I think. Oh, actually, I'm green. It needs more green.
No, I think purple's fine. Purple's great. I'm happy with that choice. I'm down with it. I think we had a crazy attack on the chat there. This comes from being on the front page where everything, a million comments from a million different places. But we're back to normal now. This is a good sign. Again, if you guys are just tuning in on the front page of Twitch, welcome. This is the Asmodee Digital channel, and we are currently playing Terraforming Mars, which is the latest game to come from Asmodee Digital. It is a board game based around, well, what the title says. We're currently trying to make Mars habitable by playing a series of cards that we have and trying to be the most successful corporation to take over Mars. It's kind of the stuff that happened in Total Recall before Arnie turned up. Because by the time he turned up, they'd already terraformed it. So this is the bit that happens before. This is the prologue where different corporations are fighting to gain maximum control. They should have put that on the box. I don't know why they didn't.
Oh, it's my turn. I'm so sorry. I thought that. That's because I can't do anything, so I'm just gonna pass.
You made us
Dramatic
wait all
handoff.
this time just to pass.
I'm just gonna sit
Dramatic
here and
pass.
do
Very
nails and
dramatic.
whatnot. No, I can't. I can't do anything other than sell patents. So I'm just going to skip ahead. I'm going to check my actions. I think I've used everything I can this turn, this generation. Yeah. So I'm going to pass promptly. So I won't be able to play till the next generation. A few people chatting up in the chat room there. Just casually stopped by. This is Koala Fox, and did a double take. That looks like the board game Terraforming Mars. You have keen eyes, Koala. Yes, indeed. This is the board game Terraforming Mars. You can get it right now. on Steam if you want to go and grab it. It has literally just been out a couple of hours, and that's it. And there's already a whole bunch of people online. In fact, when we logged on to do this online game that we're playing right now, I think you were a little bit taken aback by the number of people playing, weren't you, Sophie?
Actually, I was, because we've been testing it a lot, which is a lot less people were playing it, obviously.
We're so used to like the small amount when we were testing that it was like the surreal moment when you open up the game and there's like so many people online and it's not
It must
us,
be
and
weird
was
having
really
it
cool.
out in the wild now, having the game suddenly available to everybody. Having never launched a game myself, when you spend so long working on something, anything, and then suddenly you have to release it and go, well, I guess it's out there now, and people can have opinions and reactions and actually start playing. So I'm guessing like a mixture of like massive amounts of satisfaction and abject fear.
For me, it's mostly I'm excited to see people finally play it. There is that like tiny bit of fear, you know, as a developer, it's always scary if somebody finds like a showstopper bug, but we've worked very hard on this thing, and I'm really proud to see it finally out. It's really cool.
It's actually pretty hard when you get a game out to not spend the rest of the day just looking at the people buying it and looking at the reviews and, oh, people liked it, great. And it's hard to not log in and say thank you. Yeah, it's always exciting, and you're always very proud. And I know we worked hard on this game, and it wasn't always perfect, but we were always having fun, and it was a great team. So we're pretty proud of getting it out.
So I have finally put some water down onto this world. So we used the aquifer, which is one of the standard project turns there, to dunk a big lake essentially in the middle of one of the tiles. Although I should have put it next to the adjacent ocean there, could have given me additional mega credits had I popped it next to this one there. So that's my bad. But it increases your TR by 1 step. Terraforming rating, so that's good. So we're all hovering, well, we've got 223s, and then Ecoline storming out there with 26. Very nice. Currently Credicore is the one playing. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, I thought I didn't have enough money to play some of these cards, but it turns out I have some titanium, which allows me to play space cards for less. So I'm going to do nitrogen-rich asteroids, which is going to increase the temperature and give me 2 terraform rating, sorry, and a plant. There's 1 plant though. No plant production, that's even better.
That's a good card.
Then suddenly I'm equal to Ashley, except that I have positive victory points.
Oh, well, look at you.
And I also converted some heat into some temperature, and now I'm out of action.
So you mentioned titanium there. So you've got a list of resources which are located in the lower portion of the screen on the left-hand side. So you've got your mega credits here. But you mentioned titanium. So this is used to pay for space cards, and you've got 3 mega credits per unit here. Ecoline currently has, the screen I'm looking at, plant resources. So you've got 6 of those plant resources. So as an action, 8 of these can be turned into a greenery tile that gets placed on the board. So if you accumulate these resources, you can like turn that into these tiles over here. So these big foresty looking hexes. And then you've got energy and you've got heat. Heat kind of speaks to itself. But again, once these heat resources have accumulated, you can actually spend them once you've got 8 or more, and then you can bump the temperature up over here on the right hand side of the screen. And it's the temperature, the aqua level, and the O2 that all need to gradually climb to make the place more and more habitable.
All right, so not to spoil my hand, but I do have some cards that require some energy production. So I'm going to use the power plant standard project twice to boost my energy production by 2. And that's my turn.
So that was the power plant energy production move that was just played there. So you get an additional 1 step in your energy production if you do it. Now, what am I going to do? That's the question. I've only got 3 mega credits left. Again, this isn't a tactical way to play by sitting here and all of us telling each other what cards we've got. But we're doing it for the sake of the stream. That's the idea. We're working out how the game works. So the only one I could play if I wanted to was Power Infrastructure, which basically lets you spend any amount of energy to gain that amount of mega credits. Interesting. I'm going to have a great deal of energy. I've only got 2 at the moment. Although I have that 2 boost, kind of a 2 buff that sits above it that I get every generation from having some nice cards. This one is only 2 to use. It was 4 to buy and 2 to use. Whereas I could play it with a load. If I had 20 credits, I could play it with 20 and then get that amount of.
How much does the card
So yeah,
cost?
it's not worth playing when I have barely any left. Shame. Oh well.
Because if you use it with 2 mega credits and you only gain 2 mega credits from it, it's not really worth it.
We're gonna have to pass for this generation. Ember Eater has just tuned in, talking to GX Slim, who has bought the game an hour ago. Good stuff, and did a test run. We'll be streaming some later tonight, hopefully. And said we'll be streaming for. We're already an hour into the stream, just over. We'll be carrying on for another hour beyond as well. And we'll be posting the VOD to YouTube at a later date. This is 100% true, as it says there. Unfortunately, we've got that laggy audio thing, but there's no way around it. For some reason, it's one of those things where the internet just decided to go mental on us. But we're persevering nonetheless, so apologies for the slight delays between chats. But we're not letting it stop us. We can terraform a planet, so we can have a Skype chat.
So I only have 1 card I can play, which is sponsors. So they're going to give me a big check for 2 mega credits production.
Okay, so extra mega credits for you, and now we've moved on over to the eco line. So the fact that you can actually see all the other players' sort of credits and steal and all that kind of business. Some games, they do tend to put that stuff behind a wall. You're not allowed to see what the other player has. This is a much more open-handed game, isn't it?
Right. Yes. It's mostly because there are some cards where you can actually kind of steal resources from another player. And if you think about it, when you're playing the board game in real life, you see everybody's resources. So it's very open-handed, and we wanted to keep that the case in the digital version. Because you can't really it's hard to steal resources when you don't really know what everybody else has. So it's very important to have pretty much everything open except for like the red cards. Those are face down, even in the real game. All right. We're going to convert some steel to make this card free, which is awesome. And I'm going to be increasing my terraforming rating with this card, which is also awesome. And then there's not much else I can do. I'm going to skip this turn.
So it's back to me. So I actually have 0 mega credits, but I think I'm gonna sell some patent because I have cards I might not use. I have Power Supplies Consortium right here that allows me to reduce someone else's energy production and increases mine, but sadly it needs 2 power tags to play, and I've been really unlucky with power tags so far. So I'm gonna sell that one. And I also have Media Archives, which gives me 1 mega credit for every event card that was played. It costs 8, and only Ashley is playing event cards, so.
You can always give me the card, which is not possible.
Well, no, it actually gives me mega credits for the cards you played, but not enough to repay the cards. So at this point, it's not really worth it. So. Here we go. And because of that, I get to search for life again. Will I be lucky? And I'm unlucky. Might be a sandstorm or something preventing.
That was another search for life card that you played, the little rover out there. What's the perk of that one? What does it give you?
You pay one mega credits, and it just turns over the first card on top of the deck. And if there's a micro tab on it, it gives you 3 victory points.
So now it's cycling.
So I passed my turn because
through the production phase.
Don't really have any mega credits left
of the next generation. So now we've moved into the 5th generation, I think now. 6th now. Wow. Okay, here we go.
Sixth.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm filtering through my options here. I've got the 4 cards that we've been offered. The release of inert gas. Sounds potentially hilarious. Viral enhancers we've got here. When you play a plant, microbe or animal tag, including this, gain 1 plant or add 1 resource to that card. So it kind of buffs the cards that you play alongside it. Nice. There's a moss card, but you need 3 ocean tiles. I've only got the 1 ocean tile dropped at the minute. We've got an Olympus Conference, which is when you play a science tag, including this one, either add a science resource to this card or remove a science resource from this card to draw another. Okay. Let's double check what tags I've got. How much science have I got? Only got the 1 at the moment. When it comes to the tags, the benefit of these are, what are they doing? Are they adding buffs to your cards? How do you explain the tag system?
The tags are used to put each card in different categories. and usually they're pretty much there because some effect will allow you to gain more things depending on the tags you have, and you get some restrictions. For example, I have this card here that I can only play if I have 2 science tags, which I have, so I can play it. But yeah, so mostly you want to play some cards with certain tags in order to play other cards. Okay, so it's my turn right now. I have this nice Earth Catapult that allows me to to pay 2 mega credit less for every card I play. So I'm not even going to think, and I'm going to play that right away. I also have credit card actually has an effect that whenever I play a card that costs 20 or more mega credits to play, it gives me back 4 mega credits. So expensive cards are good for me, but I need to be able to pay them first. So now I get to play Lichen, which increases my plant production by 1.
There you go. You can see her points stacking up here, having played the Lycan card as well.
All right. So I have a very good card that's going to debuff my victory points again, but I love this card. It costs nothing. It gives me -1 victory points, and it makes it so that my next card, I have to pay 8 mega credits less. This card is awesome. I'm going to play it, and this way I can use lava flows, which will increase the temperature by 2 steps, and also add a volcano tile on the board, which is another really cool tile because it looks cool. So I'm going to do that.
Volcanoes?
And I'm going to place it around my little cluster of tiles just because I like doing that. And we're increasing the temperature more, which is awesome. I'm also debuffing myself.
Oh man. Yeah, you weren't kidding.
Volcanoes!
You're building your own galactic Hawaii over here.
So now you have a nuclear zone and a volcano.
I've got the cool stuff. Yep, that's the plan.
Kind of missing some water though.
I mean, there's an ocean tile just next to Noctis City.
So
And
I've
that's like
chosen to
one tile away.
expand
That's not
my
so bad.
ocean over here,
People won't die.
putting some more water on the board, just because I'd like to achieve great stuff, and I've got some water cards that require at least a couple of ocean tiles placed, so I'm trying to build towards being able to actually use them, which would be handy. And let me check my actions for this generation, because I should be able to perform that action card again, where I can do the nitrite reducing bacteria card. Add 1 microbe to this one, or remove 3 to increase the terraforming by 1 step. Though I think I only have the option to add at the moment rather than do 3. I guess I better do that. End turn. There we go. So here's a question folks have asked. Are there plans to release the expansions as DLC? So we're quoting the Hellas and the Elysium expansions, which I presume were part of the original board game.
Well, we would love to get them out, but we're actually
No harm in
That's
being coy.
information we can't really disclose, unfortunately, as much as we'd like to. But yeah. Okay. I see you search for life again.
yes, I have searched for life and found nothing.
Found no life.
I think there's no life on Mars, even though there's a city right there.
So, there's not much left I can do. I'm going to be converting more plants into greeneries because that's my thing. Where do I place it? I put it here. You'll see soon. And then, what am I going to do next? I think what I'm going to do is make another power plant to increase my energy production since I kind of nerfed it. But I'd like to build it back up.
So it's looking kind of paradise over here
And that's
on
my
the
turn.
on the left-hand side of the planet. We've got volcanoes. We've got actually nice rocky mountain outcrops. This is good. I would go for a 2-weekend spa resort there, no problem. Well,
I'm not sure. There's a nuclear zone really close.
so I can't use the Neophilic Moss card yet. I need one more ocean towel to do
Oh.
that. And unfortunately, I've only one down from the power plant. Can't quite play that either. I've used my additional action for this turn. I have a feeling I probably have to pass. As much as I hate to do it. I can't do the awards because you need to acquire. So the awards thing, which is probably the last thing we should mention, is a bunch of credit rewards that you'll get from achieving certain things. So the landlord will be, you'll own the most tiles in play, so you'll get that. You have the highest mega credits production, which is the banker, the scientist. These are all awarded. Do they happen at the end of the game? They're all awarded to you, or can it happen throughout?
It's at the end of the game. You check which player is the leader at the end of the game. I'm going to pass as well.
Sounds like rule. Either lacking
Will
in
I
cash or
pass?
tactically holding on to our cash.
Yep. Me too.
Here we go. Moving over to Generation 7. We've had a massive change in the amount of oxygen and the temperature of the planet. 'Cause we're creeping up. We're at -11 now, when we started at basically super sub-freezing temperatures. So we're creeping towards that point where it becomes habitable. O2 rating 4.5, 3.5, something like that. Yeah, it could be better. And we've got 4 of the 9 potential ocean tiles that we could have. So there must be 9 oceans on Mars for this meter to be full. So I've put down a couple. I think where to come in. Which of you put down oceans? You put them down. Okay, gotcha. All right.
Could be better. Could be better.
Fair enough. So I got the option to, with every generation, they give you these 4 cards that you can choose from, and you can either buy them all, buy none of them. It's entirely up to you, but it's
I put down.
depends what
I
state
think I put
your
down 2.
resources are in
Put
at the
down
moment. So
1.
I've got an option to
Okay, then I
spend
put down 1.
one mega credit here on space mirrors, which if I collect it lets me spend 7 of my credits to increase my energy production by 1 step. So energy I currently have, I've got 2 down at the bottom there, and I've got a 2 so that every generation I produce an additional one. So this would allow me to bump that up by 1 step. We've got an urbanized area card here, which decreases my energy production because clearly I'll be building like a city or something. But it increases the cash production by 2 steps because presumably I'm creating like a little economy. So you have to place these city tiles adjacent to at least 2 other city tiles when you play it. Yeah.
There's only one
Okay.
city tile, so it's not the best time to play it.
Okay. So I got a cool card. It's called Immigrant City. It's I have to decrease my energy production by 1 step and decrease my mega credit production by 2 steps, but I'll be able to place a city. But as well, this card gives me a passive effect that makes it so that, again, each time a city is placed, including this one, my mega credit production gets increased by 1 step. So this seems like a very good play for me, considering I already have another passive effect with cities, so I'm going to be using this. And I'm going to place the city in my little hub, because I like everything grouped together. There we go. And then the next turn I'm going to do is create a greenery,
Hey,
which is another good
another one popping up
idea
here.
for me.
And yeah, you're matching them out. You're mirroring them out.
And we're increasing the oxygen. There we go. Oh man, I made everything kind of symmetric too. The cities are mirrored, the greeneries are mirrored. Wow.
It's your hidden artist that makes you play like
Okay,
this.
so now it's my turn.
Yes.
We've got a water splitting
I just like
plant
everything
card. I
being-
do have 2 ocean tiles placed now, so I need to spend 3 energy to raise the oxygen by 1 step. So that's something I could do. I'm not sure it benefits me at the minute because I don't have a great deal of victory points right now, but still, yeah, trellises of water yields oxygen and hydrogen. It is something I could do. I'm going to use it. I want to see what it does. See how this works. So hopefully we'll bump the oxygen up a wee bit there. I'm left with a few points still. So now this one I can't play because I need at least 3 ocean tiles to chuck the moss down. Now this card could be played now because I've got a bunch more credits. So this power infrastructure card, spend any amount of energy and gain that amount of credits. Actually, no, I still don't have a lot of energy. I thought it was going the other way around, and it isn't. Okay, in that case, let's head up here to the standard projects. And I'm basically creating an actual ocean at the moment. So we now have a massive water mass in the middle of the planet along the equator. But because they're all joined together, I'm getting bonuses for that, which is good. Still lagging behind, of course. But it is something. I'll take it. So over to you, Credicore. Oh, they've got little text blurbs. The multi-billionaire bard hunter likes terraforming, especially when it involves hurling asteroids at Mars.
I am not going to hurl an asteroid at Mars, though. Oh, no, that's a beam, not an asteroid. I'm going to play the card Plantation, which allows me to place a greenery and add a little bit of green on the planet. I'm going to place it right here.
Nice.
So I increase the oxygen level at the same time. And I'm going to increase the temperature with heat conversion.
So we can see the O2 climbing there in the corner. We're up to 5 for the potential 9 oceans that we can have to fill the bottom. Starting to look a bit more inhabitable. So, just to explain it to people who haven't played, the tiles you see on the screen on the planet itself have got a bunch of different symbols. So here you've got some of the iron, or the steel, sorry, icons on them. Likewise over here you've got some greenery icons. Is this just a case of once you place anything on those tiles, you acquire that resource kind of buff that then sits above the respective bar there?
Yes. Yes. So when you, like you said, when you place any tile on it, you're going to pick up whatever is on that tile. For instance, if I place an ocean tile on the top right, you see that card, I would acquire that card by placing the ocean tile on that tile, which is pretty good. And very tempting to do right now. So that's what I'm going to do. And then there's not much else I can do. I might sell a few cards actually, because I'm noticing there are some cards in my hand that are just useless for me.
So we've got a question here from the Skype chat while we're doing our turns at the minute. What's the average play time for the digital version, and is there a save load for single player? So I can answer the second part by saying that there is the ability to resume and pick up where you left off from when you're playing single player, as I recall. But in terms of like average play time and stuff, what do you think? How long can it take? We're playing quite slowly at the minute, at least I am, because I'm familiar and we're explaining different elements as we go along. But if people know what they're doing and they want to sit down and play a game, how long roughly would that take?
I'd say probably take an hour and a half or 2 hours, which is a lot quicker than the actual board games. And there are actually options in the settings that allow you to play faster, like turning off confirmations and ending the turn automatically, or just changing the speed of the animation to make it faster. You can actually get it slower if you want to
Gotcha.
follow more carefully what the other people are doing. So this allows the game to go a lot quicker for people that understand the game easily. I'm gonna be playing a card called Tardigrades, which is actually the drawing. I really like it. It's like this fat microbe.
I love that card.
And I'm also gonna search for life. Am I lucky? Unlucky. Oh, this is a good card too. Sadly, the cards that are shown when you search for life are put back in the deck at the bottom of the deck, so you don't get to play them afterwards.
I remember the first physical game of this that I played. The first card that I played was Tardigrades. And that's why I remember it so well, because the little microbe's adorable. It's this like chubby little microbe. I don't know why I find that adorable. It's a microbe.
It's funny you mentioned the tardigrades there. I think that's
Microbes
one of the
need
major
love
features
too.
of Star Trek Discovery. I don't know if you've watched the new season,
I
but
just
that kind of
passed it.
chubby
I
microbe creature,
have no
that's
makeup.
one of the things
There's
that
really
powers
nothing else I
the
can do.
starship and lets them do that star jump. I think it's a big version of that. Have you watched it? Because you'd like it. If you like the fat chubby microbes, I think this would really appeal to you. Okay, I'm going to have to go ahead and pass. I think there's anything super useful that I
I
can
should
do.
check it out. I can't say I've watched it.
There he is, yeah. I recognize him.
I'm gonna be doing the tardigrade. I'm gonna use the action and add a microbe to the card, which eventually in 4 generation will give me a victory point, I believe. And then I'm gonna
So
pass.
again, if you folks are tuning in on the front page, we're nearing the end, last kind of 15 minutes or so of the Terraforming Mars launch stream, which is a game that's just gone live on Steam. You can go and grab it right now if you want to. It's a conversion of a board game that was released a little while back, and this is part of what Asmodee Digital does. They take a lot of physical cardboard games and then turn them into digital adaptations. If you look at the channel, the streaming channel, you'll be able to go back and see, I don't know, maybe like 10, 15 different streams of all different board games that we've been covering. From classics of things like Catan and Carcassonne right up to much newer games and productions like this one, like Terraforming Mars. So go flick through those, and you can also go to pocketgamer.com where you'll be able to find all of these things archived on our channel as well, so you can flick back through the entire catalogue if you want to have a look. Now we're into the 8th generation of this. We're back at the ability to buy more cards. I'm always torn by this because I feel like if I spend the money here, I don't have the money to spend during production. It always puts me off slightly. But you were planning ahead there by saying you're gonna buy something that gives you victory points in like 4 turns, 4 generations time. That's serious forward planning.
It's a free action, so I actually tardigrades is a good card to get at the beginning. I got it a little bit too late for it to be quite useful, because if I had gotten it at a 1st generation, I would already have 2 victory points from it. But
So I've got
when you're
water
getting at
import
generation
from
8,
Europa,
it
that's an
starts to be
option.
the
I don't
end of
feel
the
like any of
game.
these are super useful to me,
So I'm not sure we're
I'm
going to make it
to
into 4 generations.
be done with it. If there are slightly longer pauses as you're watching this, it's because you've got a slight issue with the syncing of the audio, which can't be resolved. So that's why there might be a little bit of quiet between questions and answers. We're trying not to talk over each other, which is even more frustrating. So we're starting off with my turn. I do have some actual bucks to spend. What can we do here? Oh, hello. Hello. Ah, damn, I don't think I can do it. Can I? Yes, I totally can. I'm going to say you're not the only one who can cause wanton acts of destruction. Hmm. Okay, go.
Oh, I'm excited to see your turn.
I know, right? Thought that would be fun. Very expensive card, but... And what I also did was I was able to remove greenery resources from... Actually, I forget who I took it off of. Who lost a bunch of greenery?
Tables down.
Ah,
Sorry.
yeah. That's a cool card.
What better than to bring down one of the moon of Mars on the planet just to make it better?
Ah.
That was me.
That was a very interesting strategy.
It's okay.
Because, as Ecoline, I benefit from having more plants.
It's
Just
okay.
don't for me.
I'm gonna steal from Ashley.
No. No, I don't think so.
First off, I'm gonna buy a city, which I'm gonna place right next to my greenery.
Buy all the cities. Give me money.
Yeah. And I'm gonna go true to my name. And I'm gonna buy an asteroid. I'm guessing I'm not buying the asteroid. I'm actually
Outrageous.
hurling it in the planet, which is what I like to do apparently. Which allows me to steal some plants from Ashley.
That's crazy. Why would you steal from me?
So Mike Dando's asking here
So
in the
nice.
chat, any idea when a map
Yeah, but you have
version
plants.
might be available, or if
True.
it's even coming at all? We are slightly limited about what we can say
Absolutely
regarding
outrageous.
other versions, because we're obviously focusing on the Steam launch, which happened just a few hours back. But is that one of the things that can be talked about, or is this a kind of, well, we'll see what happens?
Mhm. That's unfortunately another one of those questions where I can't give much information about. So because people stole my plants, I'm going to play a card that gives me more. Hello, plants. And then, what will I do next? I'm going to play the greenery. Place it here.
So I can see you're gaining a bunch of plant resources from doing that now. This is you benefiting from having these large grass tiles, the eco tiles placed.
Yep. Basically, it's just a lot easier for me to place them because on the bottom left, you'll see at some points that you can convert your plants or your heat to either raising the temperature or placing greeneries. Normally, I believe you need 8 plants to place a greenery by converting your resources, but because I'm Ecoline, I only need to place 7 plants.
Gotcha.
So the more
gotcha.
plants I get, the more I'm going to be placing the greeneries on the board.
So I used up pretty much all my
increasing
points,
the,
all my
oxygen
credits rather,
levels,
on that
and it's just generally
asteroid
a good
strike.
thing for the
But we
Ecoline
bumped the temperature
Corporation
right
to
up to the point where we are now approaching 0 degrees. We're about to hit the positives in degrees Celsius, which is pretty good. And 6 of the 9 ocean tiles, we're getting there. Yeah.
Not bad. We're doing better on oxygen too.
So I just played a card that allowed me to place an ocean on a place somewhere where it is not an ocean place, artificial lake. So I placed this next to Ashley's city, so she can't put a greenery and get an extra bonus point from there. And after that, I'm going to play Earth Office because it actually costs nothing for me because it's -2 for me for all my cards, which is pretty nice. It's kind of useless for me right now because it gives me art cards cost 2 less for me, and I don't actually have any art cards right now, but
Oh dear.
I believe in it.
As you can see, this game is making me question my friendship with Sophie, as she is starting to sabotage
There's
me at
anything
every
I can
turn.
do. Not a great deal.
So if you play this game, be careful who you play with, I guess.
So that's something worth mentioning as part of the games. It's not only
Right,
just
it's
playing the
back to my
cards
turn.
and choosing tiles in order to pick up the resources that are on them.
Unfortunately, I
So, for
can't do
example, if I
much.
place over here, I get
Oh,
the 2
pass.
greenery. I get 2 of the plant resources there added to my stock. Or if I choose another one, it might just be 1, or I might get some steel or something like that. But also, where you place them in relation to one another is important. So, for example, by clustering for me, clustering the oceans together gave me a bonus from having adjacent tiles. And the same is true of the greenery tiles and the cities for certain cards as well, right?
Yeah. So whatever you place next to an ocean will give you 2 mega credits. Greeneries placed next to one of your cities will give you 1 victory point at the end of the game. And also, as we've mentioned
Gotcha,
before,
okay.
we have placement bonus,
So,
which are the small icons on it.
got
So
a few
depending
new
on where you
cards
place it,
here.
it gives you those
Extreme
resources
cold
at that moment.
fungus. Ooh. Gain 1 plant or add 2 microbes to another card. Okay. Well, we've got the temperature now to do it. Before we were locked out because it was below -10, but we can actually use that now. We've got a technology demonstration, which lets me draw 2 cards. We've got a bunch which you can give you additional cards to draw. The ice caps melting gives you an extra ocean tile, which is technically cheaper than buying one. I quite like that. Let's do that. I'm going to buy those 2. Okay, ready.
Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is convert my heat to temperature, which will give me a free ocean tile because that's when the bonus is for now. I'm gonna put it down below there, which gives me 2 titanium. So now I can play this very expensive card, Beam from Thorium Asteroid, but I'm going to use 5 titanium for it, which gives me a credit of 15 mega credits. So it costs me only 15 mega credits.
This is where the planning ahead
This
strategy
increases
is
my
paying off a little
energy
bit. I don't
production
have a lot
and
of
my heat
resources
production.
available, but I do have some energy which I could convert. So there's only 3 energy, but heat. I've got a bunch of heat, which I could use to increase the temperature. And some greenery. Ooh, okay. Things are looking up.
So I'm going to be, yeah, greenery. I'm gonna put it here. And what else will I do? think I'm going to use this card, which allows me to increase the oxygen by 1 step, and I get to remove 2 plants from any player. Obviously not me,
Why
More
not?
friendship wars going on here.
because stealing from myself would be silly. And I have beef with someone here. Who could it be? All right, credit core.
It's always me.
Friendship core. And that was my turn.
So, now it's my turn. I can finally start doing something with some of the resources that I've acquired. So I've got some energy, and I've got a bunch of steel as well, which I can buy building cards with, if I happen to have any kicking around. I'm not sure I do in my card hand. Let's have a look. Oh, maybe not. Well, one thing I'm definitely going to do is I'm going to convert some of this heat to increase the temperature. Because I've got it sitting there and I might as well get that spent. Look at it rocking up. We're 5 degrees. A balmy 5 degrees Celsius. Tops off, lads. Fantastic. This is summer weather. I love it. Shorts, t-shirt. Excellent. It's the thing, you see, I come from the UK, so
Very
anything
little.
above 0, we get a little bit excited.
At
Easily
least in
pleased.
Canada, maybe.
So I've just played a technology card that's allowed me to draw 2 more cards. So I've just added to my hand because I was looking a little bit thin for my liking. That's all I can do this turn, but I did increase the heat, so that's good. Now then, we're over to Sophie's turn.
I am going to build a city right below Ashley's 2 greeneries right there.
It's okay, you're giving me money.
Yeah, but I'm stealing your points. Technically, I'm not stealing your points. I'm preventing you from getting points there.
Well then.
That doesn't leave me with a lot of Metacredits. So
yeah,
I'm going
we
to go
can just
back to
see
actions
Another little
and search for
biodome
life.
popping up there behind the search for life. Very nice.
One day you're going to see me
Unfortunately, it
celebrate
does mean,
so
because we're
hard.
rounding in on the finishing hour, that we're going to have to wrap this one up, which means that we don't get to see full completion, but we do at least hopefully have given you an idea of what the game is about, how it works, how the turns play, and so on and so forth. So that was the idea of this stream, a little taster, a little feel for how the game works. So, as I mentioned a couple of times, this is currently available from Steam. You can download it from the store right now if you want to. It's been out only for a couple of hours, so it really is kind of brand new. You can find other streams of this kind archived in the Twitch channel or over on pocketgamer.com, which I suggest you go and visit because we've got a brand new website appearing this week, which is huge, and all of the streams and posts relating to Asmodee board games and whatnot as well. So go over there, have a look at that stuff. It's safe to say I think I lost this one. We haven't added up all the points yet, but I'm currently sitting at 30, behind 33 and 36. So, okay, it was John 36. She's doing pretty well, But I appreciate you tolerating my questions. I was acting as the person who knows nothing, so we can explain to the audience. But I didn't have to act that hard, so I appreciate you answering all of the questions. And big thanks to all of you folks who tuned
pretty
in.
sure Ashley
so
won.
can't list you all out, but
Oh.
Embonita, Elizak,
You have a lot of
Urianes,
victory
Hollow Jack,
points.
you've got Taking Them Down, Stealthy Twitchy, people chiming in with interest and questions and whatnot. So thank you all for watching. We really appreciate you kicking around. Ashley and Sophie, thank you for the time. I know you're both busy and you've got to go and work on other games now. Excellent. Ace, that's great. Well, thank you both for joining me, and thank all of you in the chat once again. Cheers for watching. This game's out right now.
having
Follow the
us.
links below.
That
Terraforming
was
Mars.
really fun.
We'll see you
It's
next
always
time.
fun to play
Take it
another
easy,
game of
everyone.
Terraforming
Bye-bye.
Mars.